Alright, what's up guys? We don't really need an intro today. We're just gonna hop right into it. We gotta do some stuff in the engine, do some stuff inside. Basically, we're just prepping the car to have the engine and the tranny pulled. Alright, so we're gonna start by putting the exhaust headers back on the engine. Alright, so the exhaust headers are back on. I took those two bolts on the top off. I just have the one underneath. So now I'm gonna use the manifold bolts and actually hand tighten them just so it doesn't fall off. So I'm just gonna actually tighten these all down. Alright, so it's out. We're gonna pull it from under the car and then move on to the intake manifold. I'm gonna disconnect the fuel lines from the hard lines down there and then the FPR. The one on top, from what you're looking at right now, barely any fuel came out, and then the feed line, there's a lot of fuel. I'm pretty sure just because there's a little bit of pile up in here. Okay, so the fuel roll's out with the fuel feed and fuel return. I cut the FPR because that can come out when I pull the engine. We have our alternator ground, and then alternator power wire, and then our starter wire, and then our starter solenoid wire. We're gonna pull all that right now. Trusty Mako pick. It might be common sense, or a lot of people might know it, but zip ties are removable without cutting them. You see that tab in there? So basically what that does is that's like the safety mechanism, and it clicks into each groove. So basically all you do is get a pick or anything that could fit in here and you pull it out. And I'm not gonna pull the headlight harness just because it's tucked and it's not in the way of anything. But you could see that I undid the zip ties for everything, and then once I pull the engine, I'll figure out what to do with them after that. If I'm gonna pull them all the way out to paint or whatever I'm gonna do, I'll figure that out later. Just need to get the wiring harness out. And then I got all my other wires out, oil tip sensor connector, my alternator connector, starter solenoid connector, starter and alternator power wires, and then the whole engine harness. Okay, so right now I'm pulling the vacuum line that goes from the plenum to the brake booster, which is this one right here. An easy trick to get off a stuck soft line, not a hard line, is to get a pair of vice grips, clamp it, and twist and pull at the same time. You can also stick a pick or a flathead inside and try to break it free from the hard line or whatever it's connected to. Don't do it with a new line, do it with an old line that you're gonna toss, because you will break it if it's old. And even if it's new, you might put a small hole in it. Make sure it's twisting as you're pulling, or it's not gonna work as well. And you can also reposition the vice grips the further out you pull. So like right now it's pretty far, I'm gonna reposition it closer. Now I'm gonna keep pulling and twisting. You see how it's moving? I think we're almost there, so I'm not gonna reposition it anymore. There we go. So the lower rad hose is out. This line that goes to your inlet for your overflow on your radiator, if you get a perfect fitting line and it's too tight, don't yank it out. Cut this piece right here and just pull it out. So the radiator's out, the coolant overflow is out. Okay, so we're removing the clutch fan so we can have more space when we pull the engine. 4 bolts, and you pull it off, screw those bolts back on, and then that's it. Okay, so the 4 bolts are off. My clutch fan's over there. I don't know if you guys heard that, it's so windy outside today. We're gonna screw these 4 bolts back on. Alright, the bolts are back on, so it's time to drain the power steering res. We're gonna disconnect this hard line from the pump. We're gonna disconnect the soft line from the pump. Alright, so I got that bottom line, which is the feed into the pump from the res down into our drain bottle. We need to take off this high steering, this high power. we gotta take off the high pressure hose. Okay, so I disconnected the power steering lines from the power steering pump. Just gonna pull these all inside. Alright, so as you guys can see, I put all the wires in. Whoa. Anyway, now you can see how much space we have in the engine bay with everything taken out. We're done with the engine bay. Now we just need to do tranny work and drive shaft and shifter and all that. That's it for today.